Hello, Rick7, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3 as we continue our nautical adventures as Spain. We are, of course, in the midst of, well, a couple of exciting things a minute. First, we are having the dawn of naval aviation with our CVL, the Adalbert, under its design study. And secondly, we are, of course, wrestling with the restrictions of a naval treaty. And in between episodes, I was pondering the state of the game and where we might take things, and I had somewhat of a revelation in that there had been an error in my applications of efficiencies, I'm going to call that. And what on earth do I mean by that? Like, lots of words without saying anything. Well, I was thinking about how we meet our foreign station requirements. So as it stands, we're predominantly using these lovely jubbly overseas corvettes, foreign station corvettes. And they are the most efficient thing you can do from a cost perspective to meet your foreign station requirements, which is great. However, because of the naval treaty limitations and our 190,000 tons total tonnage allowed for our fleets, we're not in a cash crunch situation, which is odd because 99% of the time I'm playing Rule the Waves, I'm on the limit in terms of my money. Just seems to be the way it goes. But that's not the case now. We've got a healthy monthly balance, we're building ships, we don't have the tonnage. So what we should actually be doing is scrapping all our corvettes, not for regular warships, but for colonial warships. So we should get ourselves a colonial cruiser or some colonial destroyers, such that we have these kind of warships available when war breaks out. And obviously when war does break out, we can then obviously do a run of corvettes, and then if what we want, we can actually pull those warships who are currently serving our foreign stations back into part of the main fleet or colonial fleet or whatever it is we want to do with them. And I think that would be a much more, you'd have a much more efficient navy at that point, because this is, a large volume of tonnage, which does nothing for us in a fight. So that's what we're going to do. Now, there is some differences in terms of where we are, and as in where we need our foreign stations, and therefore what we're going to do for it. So we've got like an 8,000 in the Baltic. I was checking this out. Yeah, 8,000 there. I think it's 6 in the Caribbean, 4 in West Africa, and another 6 in Asia. Yeah, 6 in Southeast Asia. Although with the Sisney, 4,000 tons displacement with colonial service, she's going to meet 5,000 tons worth of our foreign station requirements for Southeast Asia. So, to be honest, even a couple of regular destroyers as escort will meet our requirements. So we don't really need to worry about Southeast Asia, just the rest of the world. And now, the only thing it will leave us shy on, perhaps, would be trade protection vessels when the war breaks out. So that's maybe one argument not to go full ham on big chunky warships that meet your requirement. And we may want to do actually a run of small cheap corvettes just to do trade protection, but that's a thought for another time. We're going to focus on our foreign station requirements. So if we knocked out, say, a 6,000 ton colonial cruiser, that would meet the entirety requirements of the Baltic. And yeah, just for a recap, for those unfamiliar, if I go into here, is probably the best place to show it. With our ships on foreign stations, if they have colonial service, or they're marked for colonial service, then they get a 25% multiplier to their displacement for the value to count towards foreign station. So this is a all regular light cruiser, so it just meets the 6,000 tons, whereas this colonial, so 1,600 times 1.25 gives us 2,000 tons. So that's the kind of mental math you're going to do. Interesting enough, I was back in the going through the manual in preparation for this, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head what the maximum displacement you can have before you start getting a penalty. So if you stick a 10,000 ton ship, for example, in the Baltic, it does not count for 10,000 tons of foreign stations. In fact, I don't know if I can show that here. Oh, they're all in Northern Europe. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. The Madrid, for example, 15,000 tons is only worth 9,000 tons for foreign stations. The Asturias, yeah, so on and so forth. And I couldn't remember what that cutoff is. And interesting enough, it doesn't actually tell you within the manual. I had to go and dig out one of RVT Wargaming's actually slide decks he shared on the forums for Rule Base 2, but that had the specific cutoffs and formulas in it. And it's actually 6,000 tons is your limit. Once you go above that, you start getting the penalty. And if you're super interested in what that actually is, then it's your tonnage times 0.33, add 4,000 tons. So the more over 6,000 tons you are, the bigger the penalty, which we can see here. As you can see, this ship is 15,000 tons, gives us a 9,000 ton value for foreign stations. And if we add a whole 6,500 tons onto displacement, we barely get just over 2,000 tons in our foreign station. So the way that's the reason for the formula being the way it works, because it penalizes you the bigger you get. But broad application, don't stick big ships on foreign stations. It's not worth it. Good. But the other interesting bit, that's right, I was going to say, it was in the manual. It actually says your foreign station multiplier for colonial service is 1.5. And I was excited by this because I thought, have I been playing Railways 3 wrong? Is this a change? And no, it just turns out it's a typo in the manual, and it is indeed 1.25, as you can see here. So that was, I thought I'd found something new there. But c'est la vie. I feel like it's a very Rule of Waves moment where you have to, you read something in the manual and have to confirm it in the game engine, but no, that's just wrong. Anyway, so plans. We're going to build ourselves at least one foreign service cruiser going to the Baltic, and then I think we're going to build potentially some chunky destroyers, or some small destroyers. So I was thinking we could just replace these with 600-ton destroyers, but actually what we could replace these with is 800-ton destroyers, which then gives us even more ships for our trade protection at the outbreak of war. And then once we've sorted things out, if it happens to be a long war, or even if it's not, we're now in the post-treaty world, we'll have a bunch of 800-ton destroyers rather than 600-ton corvettes. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Right. So let's get ourselves some ships designed. First off, I would like a 6,000-ton light cruiser, please. Sorry, this is what I want. Start me off like that. That's rubbish. I don't want to... Actually, can we just roll something closer to it? No, you just want to do small ones? I'll start it for a start. Right, 6,000 tons. What have we got? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 1, 2, 2, 1? Forward, aft. Where's this one? I can't even see it. Oh, no, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay. I think we can go 5 center line if we need to. So we can, if we delete both of these, for example. Forward, aft center line. What have we got? Forward center line and ships. Okay, it looks silly, but that's just how it looks. It works. What a weird design. 1.5 belt, 2-inch belt extended. I don't understand. I would like 3 inches of belt. I would like 29 knots. Deck extended. No, we don't need that. Conning tower of 6 is probably overkill. Let's drop to 5 because why not? I'd maybe like to squeeze out a little bit more on our turrets if we can, but that might be something we can't afford. I would like to be colonial service. Secondaries would be good, just so we can have a couple of DP guns when the time comes. How we got for turrets? Just a couple of which I'm okay with, because these guys are probably going to spend most of the time acting on their own. We might turn them into raiders if we're done with the requirements for foreign stations. Then the most they might deal with would be having to kind of run away from a heavy cruiser, in which case this should be enough to just kind of scare them off. So I'm okay with that. Oh, yeah, I would like mines. I think that would be a useful thing for you to have. Let's see. Can you sort yourselves out? Thank you. We're a little bit over. Now, what's the threat to these things? Like I said, ideally they should run away from pretty much all the problems they face. We may have to tussle with a heavy cruiser for a little bit, with the plan essentially to outrun the thing. Feasibly, I suppose it could end up back in our main fleet at some point if we replace all our foreign service requirements with corvettes in a long war, in which case she'll have to fend off destroyers, but I don't think we need to worry too much about overarming her. I wonder, might just be able to steal like an engine from a conning tower. That seems pretty good. Belt extended, I don't think we need as much for that. That's fine. Okay, this seems alright. Oh, can I turret you? I can indeed. Any objections? No. Seems to be going okay so far. A few more light A guns, because aircraft, oh, it's wrong way, probably are going to be a bit of concern for you. Okay. I mean, I don't think she's maybe the greatest ship in the world, but I think she's more useful to us than 3 corvettes. And she'll do a bit of mine laying when she's there. Now, we are going to lose some of our minesweeping capability, but we can... There's ways and means I think we can deal with that. Cool. Yep. Happy. Right, and then we just need a name. I'm going to go and grab that. I was originally toying with the idea of picking some historical Spanish overseas colonies holdings to name them after, but I thought, well, actually, this is a ship designed for our Baltic holdings, so let's call it the Baltic, or the Baltico, which again, Google reliably informs me is the Spanish equivalent. Okay, perfect. Go for it. Yep, go for it. Costs a bit, but we'll be fine. Now, we would also like to do the destroyers. Do I want to do them now? What have we got coming up? Well, for a start, I'm not going to build you guys anymore. Let's scrap those guys. That was a bit of a waste. A change in tack. Apologies. Sydney's only 3 months away, actually, so that should be fine. So we've got a bunch more money coming in. So yeah, we can do destroyers at the same time. And how many will I need? Well, I need to replace... Don't really need to replace you guys. Don't need to replace you, so it's just the West Africa and the Caribbean. And if we manage ourselves to get an 800-ton destroyer with colonial requirements, which may be an ask, it might not work, but it's a thought. Just from a trade protection perspective, it might be interesting. We could do, what would be 6, 7, 8, 10. 10 of them. It'd give us everything we ever needed. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. A destroyer, you're probably going to do a big one because it makes sense. Can we even do 1600 tons yet? Riddle me this. No, so we can't do a pure like for like, which leads to awkward math. But let's go for an 800 ton one. Speed of 33 is nice, but probably have to sacrifice that a little bit. We could bring it down to in range of our current destroyer fleet. Even them are a bit tricky. I probably don't need 3 guns on her. Let's get rid of the aft superimposed. I'd probably prefer them to be 6-inch, but okay. Yeah, see, this is nice to have. What's what we're looking for? If they ever do come back and be part of the fleet. And then the question of, do I want to go for ASW or do I want to go for Minesweeper? I think I want ASW. I think these are going to be foreign station / trade protection. I do often like having my corvettes to do minesweeping stuff, or my colonial corvettes to do minesweeping, and then my trade protection ones to be DC focused or ASW focused. But I think this is how we're going to make these ones work. So we might end up a little shy on the mine clearing things at the start of the war, but something's got to give. And actually, something else has to give. Are we going to have to go down to 30 knots? And then some. That seems slow. That seems very slow. How much is this? 54 tons. Oh, well, there we go. Why don't we... I'm tempted to just get rid of a whole rack. That's too much. Rather than having, say, 2 of 2. Well, that actually might be enough. Would I rather have 2 shots with 2 torpedoes or 1 shot of 3? Because a spread of 3 is much more likely to hit. We get 2 bites of a cherry. Oh, where's my probability math? We need it. The other thing which would be lovely is if you could come up to like 6-inch guns, but I don't think that's going to happen, no. So we'll go with 5s. I'm okay with 5s, and dual purpose 5 inches is very good when the time comes. Although actually, I mean, we can get... Oh, we can get there. Yeah, do this. Because I don't really care about air attacks against the destroyers. That's... Light AA for destroyers is not useful. I'd rather you had something which did DP. Not that we have 6-inch DP. And actually gives me 20 tons back, with which I could probably not do that. No. Oh, that's tantalizingly close. What, you guys are 31? It would be nice to have you 31 as well, actually. I just don't know if we can make it work. Okay, we have no secondaries, no tertiaries. We've pulled it all in. We'd have to kill a tube, I think. Oh, we've not even done this. Ha! Ha! Yes, minor detail. Okay, let's do that. Let's go that. Oh, this could be challenging to get an 800-ton one work and be useful. What do I want to give up? The answer is kind of nothing. Anything? Let's get rid of a turret. Actually, that saved us a bunch of weight. I like the torpedoes. It's more useful, I think, especially if we bring them back to the fleet, using them for torpedo runs than anything else. They need to have a DC storage for their anti-submarine warfare bits and bobs. But 15 tons is a fair whack. I don't want to go any slower than 29. I mean, we could just bring it down a 4-inch gun. Alright, there we go. So yeah, these things are now just glorified torpedo boats. Well, they are torpedo boats, and they are anti-submarine warfare boats. And I still think they're a lot more useful. 2 of these are a lot more useful to us than a corvette. Yep. He says confidently. Okay. Sweet, let's do it. I need to find names for these, and yeah, I think I will go for like overseas holdings. I need, although 10 names is a lot. Un momento. Okay, I've got it. I'm going to call her the Manila class, and we're going to name them after cities in the Philippines. Now, I will absolutely hold my hand up and say I'm just going to go for kind of the 10 biggest cities currently. Appreciating they may not be accurate, will not be accurate as far as 1920 goes, but there's a level of effort I'm willing to put these things in. That's perhaps a step too far. So we have the Manila. Perfect. Save and finish. Oh, you cannot use destroyers for colonial service. Well, that's just pooped all over my plans. Oh. I guess you learn something new every day. If I was to call you a corvette, does anything change? Yeah, your weight goes terribly. Yeah, no torpedoes. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hang on. I need to rethink of this plan. Okay. So I go over my despondency at having to scrap what was a beautiful idea. And we're going about halfway. So I've designed this light cruiser. So this is the Puerto Rico class. 4,800 tons of displacement with colonial service will give us a foreign station requirement of 6,000 tons. Which means obviously we'll satisfy everything currently to do in the Caribbean, and we'll replace the 3 corvettes out there. She's essentially a slightly smaller gunned, slightly less armoured variant of the Baltico class. So she's down to 5-inch guns. She's only got 2.5-inch belt, 3-inch conning tower, only, I can't remember if we went 1.5 extended. Our turret tops of 1. Actually, that upsets me. Can I at least get another 1/2-inch? Maybe. Sure, we'll do that. No secondaries. There you go, a smattering of light AA guns, but still with a bunch of mines, and I think that's fine. We can go and mine places. Yeah, so it's not really what I wanted. I really liked that destroyer idea, but you know, it doesn't work. So, you know, no point. Cool. go and do that. So we'll build one Puerto Rico, one Baltico. We'll just have to keep the 2 corvettes we've got in West Africa, and everyone else is going to get scrapped. So I'm going to start by scrapping you. Right. Scrap. You're not doing anything. See you there. Save a little bit of money. And then when we get those out and we're running, and I will have to have a look where we sit in terms of tonnage, because we may well need to look at seeing if we can't squeeze out some trade protection corvettes just so we've got, because my concern is we start a war, it says you need 13 ships on trade protection, and we had to push a bunch of our destroyers into that, which we wouldn't really want. Okay, let's finally, 20 minutes into the video, actually advance a month. Peace is supposed to when you go quickly. We've got blueprints for the Chinese heavy cruiser, 6 10-inch guns. Okay, cheating a little bit on the displacement requirements there. Yeah, one big treaty cruiser. I can't remember how she compares to ours, actually. Slightly under-armoured. I'm working on it. We cannot continue with high research priority for aircraft operation without an operational aircraft carrier. Soon! Actually, not soon. Probably like 3 years. I wonder if you're going to warn me every turn, or if you just gonna change it. The Japanese government want to buy fire control. The Japanese are my allies, so by all means have it. Let's stop asking me. I'm saving money. Okay, Puerto Rico is ready for construction. Let's build one of them. It should be the Puerto Rico. Baltico is ready for construction. Go to build screen. Let's build one of them. Beautiful. The Adalbert is ready for construction. Which I really liked our Adalbert, actually. I'm pretty sure we've done some finagling to ensure this was the perfect displacement. If I vaguely remember, it's been like 8 days because I was doing business. So let's just call her the Adalbert. And I think we're just building one. I think one is all we can afford. We'll see. We can always maybe do a second one if need be. Okay, 20 months. Only 16 for CVL. That's pretty positive, actually. The Sisney's commissioned. Love it. As government spending increases, the military receive a smaller share of expenditures. Oh, our budget's gone down. We got some new naval aviation, naval patrol aircraft, sorry. What we got going on here? I'm looking for a range of light. You are not much better than my current. You are slightly faster, ever so slightly faster. More firepower, more maneuverability, and you can carry bombs. I wouldn't necessarily dive wholeheartedly into change, but we do have poor reliability, which is rubbish. And this is, ever so slightly better, so let's just grab it. Our fighter's old. Shall we request tenders? Yeah, I'm happy enough to do that. I wanted to roll into another enemy. We want speed, we want maneuverability. Although range is arguably an important factor at this stage because it's so short on our least fighters. Alright, ships in service. Well, the Sisney's probably working up. Indeed she is, so we'll let her finish that before we send her out to the South Pacific, Southeast Asia, and replace the corvettes out there. The Japanese government would like to sell us the rights to hull construction, slender hull girders. Thank you very much. A little bit of weight savings, always goes well. We're interviewed in we're asked in an interview who we are going to go to war with. Well, it's not going to be Germany, as much as you might push it that way. We can pick, China, and we can pick Russia-Hungary. And this may push us onto a bit more of a war footing. I like the idea of going America-China war. It's bloomin' risky. I feel like we could do it. Only concerns is depending on improvements in invasion tech, we could definitely lose our Caribbean holdings here, which would kind of suck. But let's give it a go. We talked about it last time. Let's not change course. which is without a doubt China. Plus, we got Japan on our side. What can possibly go wrong? They have offered us a better torpedo bomber, slightly faster, both cruise and max speed. It has a better improvement in range. That's like, what's that? 5%, something like that. Okie dokie. Oh, that was a tiny little bump. There's been upheaval in South Korea. Japan is apparently sending a force there, ostensibly to restore order, but it's like to far more reaching plans. What do I recommend? Doesn't bother me. Have at them, Japan. Have at them. Ha ha ha. Nice. A world cruise for young cadets is planned. That's going to push tensions up everywhere. I think we're just going to go average here. I usually just go entirely bullish, but I would quite like to calm the beans a little bit with Germany. So let's go some average ships. You better subs not, but we're leaning into subs. Anti-sub warfare, that is good. Because China has a lot of submarines. That's something we are going to be concerned with. Have you finished your work up yet? No. Must be this month, hopefully. Why? As I say, why do you only have 7 aircraft? Because you're not my aircraft carrier. You are my seaplane tender. There she goes. Beautiful. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's very exciting. This could be a time to shine against China. Watch just peace reign eternal here. Okay, the US government often sells the rights to 3-inch guns, quality one. Yeah, I'll take it. Always better. Lets my scientists work on something else. My 20 mil, is that the was it Bofors 20 mil? Oh, I can't remember. Cool. Okay, so it's calm the beans with Germany, rank up tensions with China in one fell swoop. Sure. Okay, Sisney, you are now going to move out to the Southeast Asia. I don't really want to send you alone, though. We could send a bit of a cruiser force. So we have a couple of our heavy cruisers, our new heavy cruisers, out that way. As well as some destroyers. It is going to ramp up our costs because these guys are going to move on to active fleet. But I like this, and we may send some other ships out there as well. But let's send you out to the Southeast Asia and get you kind of in a state of readiness and see if we can't prompt things. Although that's cooled down a little bit, down to 6. Okay. Money's still absolutely fine. France and USA have signed alliance. Okay, I'm good with that. We hold a speech at the annual gathering of Navy League. What will be the gist of our speech? The freedom of the seas is threatened by the imperialistic ambitions of China. No, that's fine. Okay, new naval air patrol aircraft is coming into service. China tensions have increased to 8. That's okay. It's a respectable number. I want it a little bit scooch higher. Yeah, we're going to invade Taiwan right off the bat if we can. Now let's have a quick look at the old almanac. As we can see, the big threat in submarines, 56 active submarines. That's a lot of ASW we're going to have to lean into, which we may not be necessarily prepared for. Also, we're no point doing our AMC rating strategy, which I wanted to give a go because I'd never really tried that, because we will blockade these guys almost instantly because their fleet is so small. We've got a reasonable amount of destroyers, a couple of light cruisers, but one heavy cruiser, one pre-dreadnought, which I don't know why anyone has one of those. America's apparently building 2? I'll question that. And 3 battleships. We'll have to deal with those, but yeah, I don't think there's much of a threat there. So not enough. So once you've blockaded someone, there's no point in raiding. Raiding is only effective if you haven't enacted a blockade. So against a more powerful enemy. So if it was a kind of joint America-China thing, we'd give it a go, but not if it's just China. But I'm like counting my chickens before the eggs have been laid at this stage. All right, let's see. Advance. A colonial crisis with Austro-Hungary has arisen. You asked for recommendations. What's your advice? Well, I don't really want a war with Austro-Hungary. I mean, it's fine, but I'd prefer a tussle with China. A little bit of budget, a little bit of tension, or huge amounts of tension. Now let's go prepare for future conflicts. Let's not go full ham. And hopefully I'll raise tensions with everyone. Fighter prototypes, beautiful. Oh, these are much better. Okay, much faster. Okay, what's the range like? You're going to be on light most of the time. That is much better range. But you're slower and less maneuverable. Yeah, okay, I see where you've put your points for. Now we'll go for the best fighter, even if it's for shorter range. You're offering me a new plane. It is faster. It is much shorter range. That's not that useful for a patrol aircraft, so no thank you. Oh, I was just with Austro-Hungary. Okay. Fine. Okay, budget-wise, that was a touch of a non-event, perfectly honest. We're cruising towards our new ships. Do we have our fleet out there yet? No. They're on their way. Battleship scare. The rising threat from China. Yes. Persuades Parliament to authorise additional funding for the Navy. Beautiful. Oh, the Ranger. Hello. You're a full CV, 27,000 tons, 30 aircraft. Maybe you're not a full CV. I feel like that is a lot of ship for 30 aircraft. A lot of ship for 30 aircraft. Okay. Wonder if that's just incorrect. Almanac. CVs. No, yep, fully fledged CV. I think that info might be wrong. Well done, America. They've managed to produce a CV while most of the world doesn't know what CVL is. Britain has the first functioning CVL, and we are going to be in second place for that, which is astounding. Chinese fighter. I think we would trunch that in the sky. And this is one we've seen before? I think so. Another naval patrol aircraft. These are very fashionable at the minute. Okay, again, you are slightly faster, worse range, much worse range. No thank you. Kenya is rebelling. Can you believe it? It's a terrible joke. And yet, I'm so amused by it. Okay, it's good. Yeah, you guys are done. You need to be replaced. So, we're going to have these guys replace themselves. 6,000 and this 4,800 are already counted for. We're about to regain another 4,800. Plus that should give us the headroom we need for our CVL. And then, we're tapped on tonnage. So if we wanted to replace these battleships, it's going to have to be with more pocket battleships, which I'm not convinced by, to be honest. I wanted something big, but what I want and what I get are very different things. Now, you guys are all out in Southeast Asia, chilling out, enjoying the sunshine, so we can absolutely scrap you guys. Yes. We should still be meeting our foreign station requirements quite handily, probably with a random number. Oh yeah, because we sent these guys out as well. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. You are at half value. So these guys must have short range or cramped accommodation, one of the two. They act as a malice to your foreign station requirement. So, other note, if you are building things, don't give them cramped accommodation, don't make them short ranged. Otherwise, there's no point if you're specializing them for foreign stations. Okay, and there is our 8,600 tons. Perfect. Yeah, and we're actually going to end up with... No, we're not. We're going to end up over. Oops, a doodle, because the Baltic one currently is being fulfilled by the Navara. Yes. Yes, I hadn't thought that. Okay, we may need to say goodbye to someone or something, or get rid of some subs. They're not doing huge amounts for us, especially if we're not going to tech into sub warfare. You keep... Oh no, this is a slightly different ship. They ping you another treaty cruiser. Again, cheeky. Okay, so we're building heavy cruisers, good for them. The Sutlej. Well, that's quite an exciting ship. I like that. So that's what, 3, 6, 9? Yeah, 9 10-inch guns, bunch of 5-inch secondaries. Again, not the heaviest of armor on a heavy cruiser, but you know, with the treat limitations, they've gone for firepower rather than protection. Better damage control. More rebellions in Kenya. The world has gone surprisingly peaceful. We may need to spend some money soon. The question would be on what? Now, the most obvious thing would be to replace our battleships. And what we may need to do is kind of take the 3 of these and replace them with 2 chunkier ships. Which is really pressurizing the size of my navy. But it's probably what we want to do if we want to try and create... Oh no, what am I talking about? I'm absolute nonsense, Requin. You can only build up to 18,000 tons because of a treaty. But they would be the newest 8,000 ton battleships because no one else can build them. Yeah, okay. I think they'd replaced anyway if we end up with lots of money and nothing else to do with it. I think that's where we are going to go. Okay, a light cruiser, I don't really care about that. No, thank you. Once we get to like 40% of our year budget, we'll have to spend it. Because I think if you hit around about half yearly budget, they threaten to take your money away. A disarmament conference is being held in The Hague. Why? We're in the middle of one. We're not even using all our treaty allowance, which worries me slightly if they're judging people by their current fleet sizes. But you could get something humanist like a scrapping of submarines, which would hurt everyone else much more than us. Yeah, well, I mean, what else could hurt? Nothing really, because no one's going to be building anything big. Okay, China would suffer greatly, but everyone else it's a mild nuisance, and they just spend the money on ships, which actually, I quite like the fact they've got subs, because it counts towards their fleet tonnage. But I think at this point, we're going to say no. I don't want a new naval treaty. Okay, rebellion continues in Kenya. More tensions. Cooling off with China, though, unfortunately. Okay. Approved director. New float plane, sure. What do I want for Windscreen? I would like range. And probably reliability, to be honest. Maybe speed. Go far, go fast. The faster you are, the quicker I get my scouting. Let's try that. You're going to sell us, that's pretty pointless. Airship bomb armament. We're not using airships, but sure, I'll take it. Improved director, which I think is a specific upgrade. That's something we're probably going to want to add to our ships, but we have plenty of money, so I don't see why not. Although these were all refit relatively recently. No, that was 7 years ago. If I wanted to say refit you guys, I can now go to improved director. Yeah. And I think it's worth it is to go through, spend some of this money to make sure all our ships that currently exist are as good as they could be. I'm assuming I don't have better 14s, no. Or better 6s, no. Okay. I would like AA, but we are struggling a little bit with tonnage. But I can probably pull back on my tertiary guns because we don't have DP, so we're not doing anything in terms of anti-air, and work on this a little bit, and I probably want to max this out, to be honest. Given what I've learned about how these are effective at... Oh, I went down in caliber, I want to go down in number. Impacting or disrupting targets, then getting lots of these would be useful. Okay. We'll do that. 34 light AA guns, improved director. Everything looks super. Oh, I would like director for my secondary batteries, so it hits stuff as well. Right, so we've pulled back a little bit. 28. We could of course bulge it and make it go a bit slower, and to be honest, these things are already slow enough. So this is going to be a short refit. Yes, 3 months, 1.2 million a month. Yeah. Get me some of that, please. Good. No, I don't want it to be a BB. Or do I want it to be a BB? No, because there's no advantage to being classified as a BB, because unless you're a fast BB, you don't show up in cruiser duels, but battle cruisers do. Now granted, you might not be able to catch anything, but I think you'd have more use for it, so let's say no. Okay, we're still rate of fire penalty, but fine. Rebuild, please. Yes, and we've still got a little bit of money. Let's do the Francesco Cariacolo. Is in for rebuild. Again, I don't think we've got better quality guns. No. Oh, we do have better. We have quality 1 5-inch guns. Okay, build me those. With a director, with an... Why no improved director? Oh, I have to pick up... That was odd. She wasn't my ship, to be fair. It's probably why that unusualness occurred. Yes, this seems good. You and fire on some little guns. Upset planes. Beautiful. This, oh man, that's low rounds per gun, but it's, I'm not going to change it. Costs like a year to change in with kind of turrets and armaments and stuff. Sweet, do that. No. Oh, she's coal-fired. Oh man. Should get rid of her, but... She serves a purpose. And I could just do these guys at the same time. I mean, I'm fairly flush. The frustrating one will be... I don't know if we have a... If this automatically works for our heavy cruisers. Let's just double check. If I wanted to, I can put improved direction on you. That's annoying. I have to bring you home. Just entirely feasible, but still annoying nonetheless. Open and rebuild. Now, if war kicks off in the next 3 months, we're in a bit of a poor situation, but I'm feeling vaguely comfortable. We don't have better guns there, and arguably it's not worth it. That's fine. Oh, I don't have quality 1 5-inch guns. Have you given me Italian guns on that previous ship? Huh. Hang on. Research, naval guns, 5-inch. Yeah, I don't have it. That's kind of humorous. Obviously, Italy does, but yeah. So if I went somewhere else, could I steal their better guns? Everyone has it. Yeah, I can steal your 5-inch, because then you can do this thing where you take that, but then you go back to your local yard and it still lets you build them. Which, it's not something I've ever used. I know people argue saying, you can just import the gun tech. So there's still a realism to being able to not have to build it in their yard, but use some of their technology. But anyway, this is what we're doing. What out of interest? So I wouldn't really ever do this, but if we were to replace your machinery, essentially it does nothing for us. Oh no, if you went up to oil and turbine, yeah, you get 1 knot, and it costs you an absolute fortune. Actually, it doesn't cost you that much. $1 million, probably because these are cheap ships. But no, let's just stick with the director for just now. And we're 50 tons over already. Oh, because we have a bazillion tertiary guns. Not a problem. Let's drastically drop them down so we can stock up on AA until we get some dual purpose guns out in here. Have I got dual purpose of anyone? No. Perfect, 110, and I can even, well, actually this is going to mess things up, because as we put on tertiary guns, you lose some of these. Oh, no we're not. Expecting to lose topside load. Okay, wow, that looks perfect. Improved director to fire. She's slow and she's old and she's probably going to over scrap, but it's only going to cost us a couple of million, 2.7 million to at least improve her fighting capability in the interim. And you're also coal-fired. Coal-fired. Okay. How are we looking? Money, we're actually now spending more than we earn for once. And then we'll do our cruisers shortly. We'll let those ones finish. Beautiful. Ah, the Adalbert. Yeah, have it, Japan. I don't see a fight with you at any point. And the rebels have been eradicated in Kenya. Okay, Adalbert, you can hold 27 aircraft. Let's add yourself some air wings. I'd like a carrier-trained fighter, and so I probably want 1 fighter and 2 torpedo bombers at the minute. That would be... Do I want a 16? That would leave me 11. No, I probably want maybe 2 groups of 8 torpedo bombers and 11 fighters. Something like that. There is armed, say, just have 1 wing of 16. Especially as you start hitting... as you start taking damage, then you know, these attack waves become very small. So yeah, I could certainly see now saying I just fire these as 1 big 16 rather than 2 8s, but I quite like the flexibility. Now we're gonna mainly try and use the Cisne for scouting, and have. So we not use these torpedo bombers for scouting, provided I remember to click the button at the start of any fights. Beautiful. Excellent. Do I want to send her out there right away? Oh, well, she's going to finish working up, but potentially. Potentially. Although, with tensions like this, who needs fleets? Okay, Francesco Caricolo and Lucia and Asturias Malaga animated, all done. Beautiful. And we've found a float plane. Okay. Ah, within unit machinery. Cool. Okay, that's going to be much more efficient designs of our ships going forward. No, a rebellion in Formosa. We don't want that. That's because the problem is if the rebels take over, we can't invade it during a war. Not that we seem to be getting a war. Okay. Can you choose where you do fleet exercise? I can never remember. No, it just happens somewhere random. Okay, don't do that. Fine. Fine and dandy. Right, we will take these 3 and probably put these 3 into reserve. And we'll just mothball these 2 because they are pretty rubbish. And then do I want to bring you guys home and change out your fire control? Probably. I mean, I always think it's worth it improving the fire control. We're a couple of months away from those 2, which again will probably just improve your fire control because why not? So given how peaceful things are looking, I'm indeed going to bring you back to Europe. We'll get you sorted out and we'll send you back out again. And then I don't need to worry about the Cisne or the Adalbert really. Not key. In fact, you guys can always come back and escort the Adalbert. Beautiful. Okay, that's almost taking 50 minutes, so let's knock this on the nose. That was okay. Got a couple of years in the end. Probably a lot more talking and thinking than I should have been chunking through time, but I'm pleased by those discussions. Why? No, why are we having tensions with Italy? I'm tired of fighting Italy. I want to fight someone else. Yeah, I wouldn't. I will. If push comes to shove, we might pull the trigger and Austria-Hungary just because. But I would really like to avoid a war with Germany. We're not in a fit state for that. And apart from that, yeah, we've still got 8 years of treaty. So if war doesn't break out, we're just gonna have to be trying to do the best that we can to modernise the fleet based on the tonnage we've got. We might at some point rebuild our heavier ships as well. Because honestly, I mean, I wouldn't feel terrible at replacing you with an 18,000 ton battlecruiser. And again, I think we could replace those guys probably for just similar-ish things. I need to think about exactly what's going to work. Oh yeah, we could steal some tonnage and ifs, buts, and maybes. I'll not worry too much about it just now. But yeah. Okay, cool. Anyway, hope you enjoy this one. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheerio.